Came in this morning and Fred had her sitting there for us, and we were ready to kind of mocked in. I've got the hoist hooked up now, and we just pulled off the mounts, and we got the transmission jack up underneath, and we are getting ourselves positioned. Me and Fred just talked earlier, and we're looking at a few little options. We've got one little issue we got to deal with, which is going to be the power steering pump. So we're going to have to remove it so we can get around this A-arm and get that taken care of. Got a hole in my pocket, dropped my vape. But yeah, we're gonna whack right here. So we're gonna remove that so we can get the engine over a bit, because we're a little bit crooked, not exactly straight, and we've got more distance to go down. And something you'll end, like, I don't know if you know this, but the lower you can get the engine and the further back you can get the engine, the better you can drive. Like using this Camaro stub frame, the engine was actually more forward, so we're actually bringing ourselves back and down, and we should drive pretty good. Like, this car's not gonna be super fast, but it'll be a little bit more sporty. It'll steer good, it'll turn good. Things should work a lot nice. But that's what we're kind of hammering with right now and kind of getting her fit. That's what I'm working on. I'm going to go ahead and remove that power steering pump. I got to set it down on a piece of wood because I'm a little bit worried, because the chain is sitting like kind of catty on the bracket, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to like make it fall when I pull that off. So I'm going to set it down on some wood, readjust a few things, and then get myself back up. We got the engine settled down a lot further, so now we got a lot more clearance. So I got a piece of 3/4 inch wood underneath there. Gives me my clearance I need for underneath the cross member there. And everything looks pretty good. I got to bump the motor about a 1/2 inch, but I got to get those original GM mounts off of there. See that steel one that's still on the frame? Got to pull that one out and get the one on the other side. But yeah, it's fitting pretty good. I started hanging pedals, started looking how everything else is going to be fitting. But yeah, we'll bump over this direction about a 1/2 inch. GM's kind of a dick, and those nuts are inside of that frame. They're yeah, not fun, and you can't get in there because the A-arm's in there and everything else is in there. So I'm going to lift the motor and just use my die grinder and cut the heads off of them fuckers. Just make life easier. But everything kind of fits great. Transmission's coming out in a great place. Got a nice little pedal set. I got to move them up about 3 inches is what I'm looking at. Shifter's going to come out in a good spot. It's going to come out forward a knee. So I moved everything back as far as we could get it so we didn't hit the firewall. But it's fitting pretty damn good. We will have to make a custom bracket for the power steering pump, but there is plenty of room in there for it. So we can definitely tuck something in and make something that works, and then we'll actually use the original booster and brake setup off of the truck. It actually will bolt here, and I have room underneath the hood to close. So it probably won't look the coolest, but it'll have really, really functional brakes and actually really nicely work. So to me, functionality, especially with this kind of resto mod, we're kind of using all the little pieces and parts that we have laying around, keep the cost down to make this thing functional and work. And it looks like it'll all fit right underneath there. Oh, so happy. Getting it all tucked in. Very thankful Fred tucked that in this morning, because I honestly was kind of not motivated to pull it out of the other one, because that's not a lot of fun. This is the fun part, getting it tuned, getting it set, getting it where you want it. And like doing all the little tweaks and here and there, and like I got everything level. At least it should be level. Yeah, see that? Be level. And we're level this way. We got a little bit of tilt going that way so the oil runs back. So yeah, everything's pretty fucking happy. So I'm gonna keep working on those pedal set and start working on mounts. I gotta make a custom style mount. It has these dog ears on the front of the motor is what I got the chain hook to right now. It's got 2 bolts, and I've got these really cool steel mounts, and I'll use those, and I'll put a couple dog ears on the back of it, you know, double dog ear it, and then have the bolt go through and right into my new mount. So I'll start making mounts here soon, getting stuff figured out. We still got to give her a bath and get her cleaned up. I am very happy. Well, I got the pedals moved up, and we've started getting those mounted, and I've been double checking on their clearance, and we will be good with our booster up here. We will be running the big booster, but it will fit, and it will go underneath the hood, and everything will be good to go. Cool thing is we actually got that kind of sitting where we need to. Tomorrow we will fire up a welder and we will get some brackets in. Probably just tacked in at first. I don't know. We'll see how far we get because I need to get the motor back out again. But I want to get some brackets temp made so I can actually weld them in later. So we'll see what I do. I might, when I cut the other ones out, I might go ahead and grind that whole area. It's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out the original GM mounts and I'll grind the whole area so I can tack in the new stuff. That way everything can be tacked in and I'll burn it in before I still got to wash it. So when we pull the engine out, we'll have that burned in so we can actually set the whole engine in. I've got some really cool tube mounts. Let me pull them out of my drawer over here. Got some really cool mounts. They're just a chunk of steel. You got some little poly bushings in there is what we're going to be end up using. It'll work great right on there. Get rid of those, put a couple dog ears and nice little tabs down. So we'll do those in tomorrow, hopefully. I'm pretty stoked, to be honest. This is going to be fun. We're getting closer. Budget's still tight. That's why we're using everything we got found around, everything we've got. Most everything on here has been something that's been around, something we found, something we have. Don't really have a budget right now. Kind of, using what we have. But this thing is going to be a solid freaking car. Like, that transmission doesn't even jut in. I might even put the original steel floor back in and just fix the rust that happened on the edges. Just give it a nice little border. Maybe even bolt it back down. Yeah, this car is going to be something sweet for somebody. She is a real sweetheart. I am really glad we saved this out of the mud and dirt. I'm just very, very excited. It's fun when you get to do things you love and when you get to chase your passion and get to build stuff that you love doing. Sure, it's not the cleanest place. Sure, it's, don't have exactly all the tools and all the room, but sometimes it doesn't matter when you're chasing a dream. All that stuff is stuff that can happen. Get to the next level, start making the money, get stuff rolling, and you can actually have stuff happen. So sometimes you got to try and make it happen yourself, and that's what we're doing today. That's what we've been doing. So I'm excited. I'm really happy Fred got that moved over off the other chassis for me this morning. Saved me a bunch of time so I could get it lined up and get her kind of... But I love you guys. I appreciate you following along, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the hype button. If you've made it this long, it's a new feature they've added. Hit the hype button. It's a chance for me to see more people and grow, and hopefully someday I can use this to kind of pay myself too. I don't have enough subscribers, or I have enough subscribers. I don't have enough view hours on there, so I need more hours on the videos for people to watch if I ever want to get paid on it. Not that I even care that that's a driver. I'm still going to make these the way I make them. Just enjoy it. I do want to record better stuff, with the video and cameras, and actually let you guys see some of the work happening, and then sit down at night with a computer and upload them. But I do love doing it daily, and I know if I added in the camera and all that, it'd be hard to do it daily, but it'd be fun to do a weekly, like with all the nice gear and a camera and all that shit, and set it off to the side, use my GoPros again, time lapse some stuff, let you guys watch what happens throughout the week. I think that would be fun. But on that note, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!